Hello, TTRPGers. Today is the day that I'm finally going to step out of my shell and present to you my very first actual play. And I can't think of a better game to put on the table and showcase to you all than my favorite TTRPG, Fabula Ultima, a TTJRPG. Now, in this video, we are going to be showcasing the Press Start module, which is free to play. You can get all the accessible content from Need Games Fabula Ultima and really get to see what this game does at face value. Of course, there is a core rulebook and other add-ons that really help grow your adventures and showcase new classes and all these other wonderful things, but that's what I love about Need Games and I love about Fabula Ultima. If it hasn't somehow already synced you into the JRPG type of theme, anime theme, that really tries to hit the nostalgia of a 90s kid like myself, the presentation of respecting you as a player by allowing you to play a game without really putting any financial investment is the right way to go as far as I'm concerned. Now, in this actual play video, I had the privilege to get to run this game for multiple content creators over on TikTok that I believe have A, become my friends, B, have been support systems, and on top of that, just have a general love for TTRPGs. Some of the people playing really like the JRPG nostalgia, the anime aspect of it. Some just really have a love of learning new TTRPG systems. And of course, I do nothing but talk about this game, so it was only fitting that I finally shut up and presented the game to them. So that being said, I think we ultimately had a great time. I do want to say on a couple of prefaces that I am running Foundry VTT to run this game. I am checking my production and GMing. This is my first actual play, so there's a few things off on sound. There's a couple of times I have a little bit of oversight on rules I'm normally familiar with that I just I think in the entirety kind of overlooked, but it doesn't change the fact that this game is a very rules light, but very open friendly game to newcomers. So I hope when you see this, you see how easy it is for people to enjoy it. And I do want to preface also that this is a tutorial style game. So you're getting to see this game kind of piece by piece explained like it's kind of a tongue-in-cheek tutorial setting of a JRPG or other video game. So it doesn't really display my expertise at GMing or DMing. It's more of a presentation, but that's not to say that there isn't fun moments, there isn't exciting moments, and the content creators who are a part of this were phenomenal in the characters they represented. With one other final statement, I will say this is not the entirety of the video. We still have to finish this out on the grand scale end of it. Unfortunately, about 2 hours and 15 minutes into the game, I started to experience a rare set of dizzy spells that hit me every now and then, every couple of years, and of course, why wouldn't it hit it during the time I'm trying to present something new to people? So the people were very understanding, very supportive, and I do have a little bit of malice towards the fact that your guys' first presentation of my showcase comes with an end. You will not see that at the end. There will be a fade to black, but I want you to understand why it happened. So putting that aside, let's all enjoy this game together. Let's have fun. And without further ado, Fabula Ultima, press start. Okay, well, I'm ready to go if you guys are ready to go. So,
Ready.
Yeah, that's good.
First off, hey, I'm nervous, but it's going to be okay. It's going to be real fun. So we're going to have a good old time. Yeah, for those people that will be watching this content, I'm Josh, Voices in the Dungeon. This is the Fabula Ultima Press Start entry module for the Need Games Fabula Ultima. I have got a wonderful cast of people who have been willing to play this game. The game itself that we will be playing, you can see in the window below me, has a Need Games Fabula Ultima website you can go to. You can get this content for free, play it at your own will, and I encourage it because it is a very inviting game, and while you may watch this through its entirety or even snippets, I promise you, if you play this game, it'll be completely different with the group you play with. So, that being said, I'm going to introduce people, I guess, kind of. We'll start with Aaron. That's because you're the first person in the top left of my screen.
Okay. All right. So yeah, my name's Aaron. My channel is called The Immovable Rod. Mostly I do content about encounter ideas in fantasy settings, but I've got some more coming up in sci-fi and some other things too. I've been a JRPG player since the 80s. So I have been waiting for a system like this, and Voices, thank you so much for hosting this and giving us a chance to play it. Super stoked.
I couldn't be happier to see another one of my own that was a nostalgia's JRPG nerd as I was in the 80s and 90s. Welcome aboard, and I can't wait to see what Chaos is creating. The next one, we have Kara. Kara Fish, 27.
Hi there. I am indeed Kara. I go by KaraFish27 on pretty much every place that has a handle. I'm most active on TikTok. And I am less of a JRPG enthusiast, but very much an anime enthusiast. And I love just the aesthetic that is created with Fabula Ultima. I am lucky enough to have played a little bit in a campaign prior to this and a little bit of Ryutama, which was the forerunner to this game, but I've never experienced this module and I'm very excited about it.
Awesome. Thank you. And I appreciate you as being part of this as well. The next we have Kristen. Kristen's Epic Adventures.
I am Kristen. You can find me on TikTok and on YouTube at Kristen's Epic Adventures. I make content about all things tabletop role-playing games. I go over like rules breakdowns, tips, tricks, sometimes unboxings and reviews. And I have never played a JRPG before, and I've never played this game before. So I'm very excited to dive in and check it out.
Well, I appreciate you being here, and I want to assure you, JRPG or not, it doesn't matter. This is just the aesthetic, kind of the theme. The game, you can put any theme to it, and this game will really cater to it, in my opinion. But
perfect.
Last but certainly not least, the individual who has inspired me to bring face to TikTok and somehow allow this culmination to happen of meeting these wonderful people, I have Dice Whisperer, aka Laura.
Hi everyone. Thank you so much for having me, Josh, aka Voices. It is a pleasure to be here. I don't know what I'm doing. So if you don't know what you're doing, follow along with me because we'll be lost together, but we are well guided. I am a big proponent of growing the RPG community, which you can see here with some of our favorite creators online. And I'm just really happy to be here. And I think we are all in really good hands under Josh's guidance. And I cannot wait to get started.
Well, we're about to do so. So thank you very much. And we're going to hit it off here just real quick. I just wanted to give one more shout out to Need Games and this product. I've already done plenty of videos. I'm going to be doing more about this. I'm hoping this inspires people to learn this game. It has quickly become my favorite game. But that's not for me to project it on you guys or leave any expectations. But that being said, this is a collaborative narrative game. I don't want to say like Daggerheart or anything like that, but you guys will be working together with the pre-generated characters that you have obtained. You have some familiarity with them, and this game goes in a process of scenes. Some of it will be narrative, and there'll be times where it's just kind of a mechanical tutorial, where I'm just giving you just straight up what's going on. This game has a very unique break from character and player, because there is certain elements in this game where, and we will get into it, one of the primary things is called Fabula points, which is a meta currency basically that you as players activate to control narratives and give abilities to your character. So it's kind of this weird in and out that you may not be familiar with, but I assure you it's fun, and we will quickly get into that. So that being said, does anyone have any questions? Anyone have any issues with the Foundry presentation at the moment? Is everything good, Dice Whisperer? Are we good on Foundry? Have any issues?
Well, Josh, let's be honest.
I'm being kind, asking, have you logged in?
We haven't gotten started yet.
Okay.
But don't worry. I'll let you know.
Okay. Well, and for those who don't know also, or people are watching, I am using Foundry VTT. I'm going to have a little visual display, so you'll see some of the action going on and then the roles that are results of it. But some of them may be playing with their character sheet in front of them with physical dice. Other may use Foundry. So either way, it's going to be fun and acceptable. So that being said, let's get into Fabula Ultima. Press start. As we start with Scene 1, The Skies of Denova. Let me go ahead and just bring you all into... So you should have visuals of your character icons that popped up. So,
Nope. Yay.
our story begins on a small sailing airship above the small forest surrounding the city of Denova. Piloting the airship is an old man named Leon, who begrudgingly accepted to transport you near the ancient ruins known as the Crater of Megiddo, a once great city of magic that was devastated by a magical cataclysm in the past. The crater still hides many powerful and terrifying secrets, and troops from the neighboring Empire of Alonia have been spotted in the area. Why are our heroes headed there? Well, that's a question for Blair Clarimont. They can answer this as their father, King Roland, decided to not take action against Alonia, but Blair disobeyed his orders and gathered a group of exceptional individuals to personally investigate the situation. So, at this point, you are all on the airship that you see on the screen below, and we are going to go on with, I'm going to ask every single one of you, as you are on the ship, kill the music just a little bit on my end here, a little loud. What is your character currently doing on the airship? As we will start with, let's start with the heir of Denova themselves, the one who is responsible for this. We don't need to know details of your character just yet. What are they doing as you're flying away from this kingdom of Denova towards the crater, knowing you have conscripted these individuals to help you figure out what is going on?
I'm so glad you asked. The truth is that I just love to have a good time, and I'm juggling tangerines aboard the airship. It's a pleasant
bard.
break.
The bard.
And I'm trying to entertain and dazzle my companions here. In case any of them have a fear of heights, of course, they can be distracted by this beautiful presentation of the tangerines just up in the air, down in the air. It's a sight to witness.
So are you at the front of the ship, the center of the ship, as far as doing it?
Always.
Always at this. As you were continuing to do your performance and juggling of it, you notice Leon, the individual that is the ship captain that you guys have kind of paid under the table to do this in secrecy. There's every now and then a little bit of turbulence that happens, but in fairness, the individual that understands performance better than maybe anyone on the stage here, Blair, doesn't seem to be stricken by the turbulence itself. Nothing has been too chaotic, but you would expect no
I'm a
less.
professional. I'm a professional.
As they continue...
I can juggle many balls.
It begins. I was waiting to see how long it took. I was waiting.
Not long.
Well,
I
do
not know what you mean.
It's too bad. We haven't gone to traits and bonds. I kind of want to change, instead of being the heir of Denova, the ball juggler. But we'll go from there. That
Or
means
ball breaker, but anyway.
Hey,
yes.
there's that opportunity.
Mhm.
But as they are performing on the ship, we're going to go over to... Let's go with Cassandra. What is Cassandra doing?
Oh, well, being the former captain of the Skyrider Force, she is on the upper deck just watching everyone run around and do what they need to do. And she's just like, are you supposed to be doing... Oh, yeah, okay, I suppose that's all right. Wait, you didn't... Oh, okay, I think they've got it. And she's feeling... And then she sees Blair juggling, and she's like, oh, we really don't need entertainment, but, oh, goodness, I hope she doesn't drop any of those and make a mess. Anyway, and she's just kind of really keeping an eye on what's going on this ship and kind of comparing it to how she used to run her ships.
And I'll actually ask that. The ship itself is a little bit of a smaller cargo ship, but this is where the brilliance of Fabula Ultima comes into play. Since you are familiar with ships, this is your ideology. It is an airship. So how is it designed? As far like how does it accomplish it? Is it magical? Is it mechanical? Do you use sails? Is it helium? Is it steam? Like, wait, how does this work?
Oh, I bet there's a combination of gears and magic.
Like it.
For sure. And there's, of course, a giant creature on the fro of the ship, like a big giant, like a mermaid or something up on the front.
All
like
right.
you would have on a water ship, but maybe instead of a tail, it has wings.
All right.
So it's like, and then there's also some gears turning here and there, like underneath and everything. Like the rudder maybe is like works as like a gear, but you can see these little sparkles of magic around it as well.
Love it. As it continues to move forward, and you see a little bit of the wake of the air, there's a little dazzle of magic in the wake of the air that it's propelling out on the back end. Edgar, we're going to go to you. What is he doing? He's in a magnificent airship. What is his assessment?
So Edgar is not so interested in the display. He's not interested in the view. He wants to check out these gears. He's making notes, checking the front of the ship, checking the wind, checking the temperature, putting it all down in his notes, and he's going to put together a report for the captain to let him know how the airship efficiency can be improved. Not because he thinks he's smarter than the captain, but because he genuinely wants to help the captain make a better ship.
Amazing. Before we go to the final individual, I want to go back to Blair. As we described that there was this, how the ship is manufactured and how it works. I'm going to let you name the ship. What is the name of the ship?
Oh. The ship is named after my great aunt, Fanny.
Fanny or Thanny? TH or F?
Oh no, darling. Fanny. With an F.
F. Nice. It's the mystical magic text ship known as Fanny. Continues to fly into the gaping crater of Megiddo. We have one left on the ship. Levine Fallbright. What is she doing as you see yourselves getting closer to the crater of Megiddo?
Levine is pacing along the railings, staring out to the horizon and watching for any sign that the Empire might be doing something nefarious. Do not trust that Empire. To stay put.
All right. Keeping a lookout.
However, as her path takes her by the juggling Blair, she's 100% going to try and snag one of those tangerines right out of the air. Just to mess with her.
Oh. Levine. You minx.
She peels it, takes a bite, and keeps walking.
Love it. All right. Well,
I'm just bouncing one tangerine in my hand right now.
Did you only have two before?
Wow, no wonder you were so proficient.
I lost one during the first sort of air bump.
Okay.
Nice.
So, as you all made your circumstance on the ship, as Leon is continually driving the airship into the core of it, you suddenly have a moment where you start to see the tops of the trees part abruptly, and you can see the crater below, and an oddly circular pit descending into the ground filled with remains of ancient stone buildings and once glorious waterways that crumbled towards its depths. Just as Leon prepares to descend, you begin to hear a rumble as noise from the depths of the crater suddenly emerge. A great beam of purplish energy shoots from below, hitting the left side of the airship. In a moment, magical energy has faded, but the vessel definitely didn't like it. Son of a crackroll, snaps Leon. I swear this is the last time I'm gonna drive a bunch of adventurers around. We'll be lucky to be down here in one piece. You understand that the airship is far too damaged, and a crash landing is inevitable. But each of you still might find a way to make it less disastrous. So, as I described it, and the magical energies hit the ship, we're going to go in order, and you're going to tell me what your character is doing to try to help stabilize, prevent, whatever to do to try to prevent the ship from being an absolute death trap for you all. And we will start, you know what? I've been going one, so we're going to go ahead and start with Cassandra, as you have the, you're probably at the top right now, as you feel the abundance of energy hit the ship.
Oh my goodness. Well, she's going to try to get a better look at maybe what's going on, and probably try to climb up to the crow's nest if she can, and see if, and she's still trying to bark orders at people, like, get that and put it tight and secure this, and, you know, the cargo, and make sure. And she, meanwhile, she's climbing up, and she keeps forgetting this is not her ship to take command of.
BMA, there is chaos in order right now. And this is not a large ship, as this was designed to be incognito with you. You don't have a lot of people, but at the same time, they're in panic as Leon is trying to keep hand of the wheel. So what we're doing now is we're going to bring into what is the first thing is checks. So this is a skill check that you're going to be presenting. So what you've just narratively done. If you look at your character sheet, you have the attributes. So you have dexterity, insight, might, and willpower. All four of these are the basis of almost everything I tell you guys to roll. So instead of, like, in comparison to relative to D&D, you know, you have a stealth check, you have, you know, a persuasion, whatever. They're not in those type of terms. You just tell me what to do, and I'm going to tell you the best way to combine those attributes. So the fact that you climbed up with dexterity to get a little further up the hole, then started barking orders, I'm going to have you roll a dexterity die and a willpower as you were trying to influence your presence on here.
Okay.
So on your attribute sheets, it's making clear, and I'm sorry if I'm talking over, I just want to make sure it's understood.
You're fine.
That your dexterity is whatever that die roll, so you should have either a 6, an 8, a 10 as your option. And then your willpower. You must be a difficulty level of 10.
All right, I have a D10 for Dex and a D8 for willpower.
Wow.
That's an 8 and that's a 10. So, I do have my physical dice here, which I could do real quick, but how do you actually get it to roll in Foundry if I decide to do that? What do you click on?
So if you actually bring up your character sheet, you can double-click if you go to your actors and click your character sheet, you should be able to, let's see here, on the right side it says roll check. There's group check, roll check, open check on the main page when you bring it up.
Group check, roll check, open check. Am I looking on the sidebar?
I'm sorry, what was that? I cut out.
That's okay. Am I looking on the sidebar?
It is on the side. So if you double click it, so it's group check and roll check. You'll click roll check, and then it should give you an option. There's a primary and a secondary. Your primary will be your dex. Your secondary will be your willpower. Click those and then hit roll.
All right, I'm gonna roll my actual dice at the moment because I don't want the whole thing.
Not a problem.
Okay. All right, I got a 6 and a 7, so that equals 13.
13. That is a success as you find yourself providing the exact orders that might need to be done to kind of just people kind of, okay, someone's got the crap together. And they start to run and try to look for repair opportunities to, like, reinforce things and anything they can in that scenario. Well done. That is a success. I do want to also say, if you have 2 failures collectively, something much worse will occur. So just keep that in mind. And usually I'm not as transparent on this, but this is a module to let you know how this is by design. So as you hear them barking orders, I think this would be the opportunity, at least for Edgar, to have heard this, as he's been assessing everything about the ship. And now that there's something in order, what could Edgar do to try to sustain some safety?
So Edgar sees very quickly that Cassandra's up in the crow's nest. She's taking charge. The most important thing for her is to have information about which part of the ship has the most damage and needs the most help to be repaired or to fixed or to triage. So what Edgar wants to do is maybe jump to the back of the ship or the stern and figure out exactly which parts need the most attention immediately to make sure that we're not going to crash and die.
Fair enough. Okay, so are you just looking to evaluate, or if you're looking to evaluate and act is the best way?
I'm gonna, I want to evaluate, but I want to call out information to Cassandra, because she's got a bird's eye view of the whole situation, so she'll know who, she can say, you go here, you go here, you go here. So I'm basically feeding her information.
Okay, I'm going to go with insight and willpower on that one. So that's basically your command of your voice after your evaluation of the situation.
Okay, so roll check,
Mm-hmm.
and I need to do. You said insight and willpower.
Correct.
Okay, and so insight is primary and willpower is secondary, and then I just hit roll check.
Just hit roll check.
Okay.
So that is unfortunately a fail as far as the DL10 on this. However, there is a moment where people like go, okay, this guy's knows what he's doing. He's obviously been evaluating this all around. And they go, Captain, we're going to go over here, and this gentleman here has been assessing this. I think this is a great idea. And they go over there, and they try to start grabbing onto a piece of open plank, and they see like this gear that has been magically kind of like... for better words, stuck from debris hitting it, and they try to actually pull it on themselves, and it actually rends into one of their arms, and they go, ah! And they start losing and flipping off of it.
Sorry.
I know, sorry, that's a little grim. That just went to my head. Sorry, I'm playing on the fly here. It's chaotic here. So,
I like it.
As that happens, you see, all of you see this as some of the people who are in danger, but you guys are too. You're all part of the danger. So we're going to go to, what is Levine going to do?
Well, seeing that happen, she is going to immediately run over and lend her strength to this and attempt to get this gear unstuck as well. However, if she can do it with like a piece of machinery rather than her hand, she'll try to do that, having seen the failure of the person ahead of her.
I don't think I need to really have... There's plenty of objects, I would say, from this blast, so I don't think you really need to make it instant. So we'll just go might. If you like, you find a mechanical rod or something to be able to go, or you can use your sword. One of the two. But I don't want to disrupt. I don't want to disrupt your beautiful sword either.
I don't know. I would totally go with the sword. I think that's a fun visual. Jamming this gigantic sword to get the gear loose. Yeah, let's do that. All right, so might and might.
Correct.
Let's roll.
Wow, that's a phenomenal 15. So not only are you, as someone's like, they're holding in their arm, and they're starting to like reassess that was a lot closer call. They didn't actually really lose anything, but you see Levine run in and just jab the sword in and start to just basically pry. You hear this. There's a moment the ship kind of goes, and then all of a sudden kind of regains a little bit of balance, but it is still flying down. But it is at a more of a pace where. I want to feel like you're not just nosediving, but it's coming down still at a level of severity, but you're overall fine. That being said, that leaves us last but not least. The heir of the Nova, who was currently juggling on the whole... The juggling was probably impossible at this moment, as the ship is gone complete disarray.
I have dropped all my tangerines. there is no doubt. I've lost my marbles. Everything's gone. But I feel that my companions and the ship hands, listen, I am not someone to use my hands in this way. I feel like they have it under control, but you know what's missing is a little bit of music.
Oh my goodness.
Because what inspires and rouses the people like a ballad, similar to, if you can imagine, the violins playing as the Titanic was sinking. I would like to play The Wreck of the Fanny Fitzgerald, which, for those of you who know the Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald, sounds oddly similar to that.
Oh. Is this like a
So I
sea
have my
shanty?
lyre out, and I'm just, yes, troops, you're doing such a great job. You've got this.
So what I'm going to have you do, Blair, is since you are retrieving the memory of, maybe this is a song you played many times, but you're historically in your brain thinking out loud the words and stuff, but then you're acclimated to performing. We're going to go with insight to recall the song, and then willpower for the performance.
Very good. Insight.
Fate is in the hands of your heir right now, as we have one failure, 2 success. Or 2. Yes.
13.
13. So, as they start performing this outlandish, not outlandish, in this outlandish situation, there's a calm that starts to envelop the people as people are starting to kind of be harmonized and feel a little bit of, if this is the last moment of their life, it's going to be in the best reassuring moment as the ship is continuing to turbulent and drop, as you start to see it hit. You start hearing the sounds of the tops of trees like hitting the bottom of the ship. You're hearing as you all of a sudden come into a crash. Oh, I hit my mic. And as you start to see dirt just pouring out and flying into the air as you are holding on. You hear Leon go, "Ah, shit!" And he's holding on as much as he can. And you come to a stop. Well done, everyone. You accomplished the ship not going into complete disarray. However, I do want to preface, in Fabula Ultima, this is where these situations really come into play. If you would have failed, of course the ship, it needs repairs, but a failure would have meant maybe 2 weeks of repairs in the middle of nowhere, which would have caused you all to possibly, if you did need to retreat or get out of here or do something, you would have had to have considered a different route. But fortunately, your heroic actions were enough to overcome, as you see this one gentleman who is trying to, like, his arm is numb from the mechanical magic that kind of just shocked him, and he goes up to Blair and goes, that was amazing, Your Majesty. We were going to die if it wasn't for all of you. And
You mean for me? Oh,
Yes.
everyone, yes. Oh, yes, everyone, yes.
Yes.
Yes, you should have done that.
Right. Boss! What do I do with this? And you just hear the Leon, the gentleman, the captain, go, you get hurt again? God, I just can't get good work here anymore. Hold on, let's get our crap together here. We can kind of assess. Fanny here is in a lot of disarray, and we just need to figure, is everyone all right? That was the end of scene 1. As we are going to go, we've already gone over a little bit of the consequences that could have happened. When you saw that individual, Edgar, have this horrifying moment where he took your ideology and reacted to your direction, it was a little haunting to you as you take what is called the status effect of, let's see, you're a little dazed from the scenario. So what this does is, if you are affected by a condition, it mitigates your dice of your attribute to the next level below. So if you had a 10, it would be an 8. If you had an 8, it'd be a 6. And there is a cumulative amount of conditions that can occur to you that can make things really not fun for you guys in skill checks and accuracy checks in combat. So far, are we on the same page? And I'm talking in my narrative voice. I feel like I'm talking to you like your children. And I'm sorry if that's the case.
Yeah.
No,
You're fine.
totally fine.
Yes.
Okay. So, well done, everyone, as you've gotten through the first scene of the situation, as we will go to scene 2, which is known as Traits and Bonds. The airship is crashed.
Where I get my... Wait, I'm
Sorry.
sorry. Is this where I get my special equipment?
Your special equipment?
Well, you said there was something about... Well, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You're fine. You're fine. Is it at scene 2, if you look on your character sheet, if there's anything that has the 2 unlock symbol, this will be what's unlocking. And as we go through scenes, that is the progress of what we'll see. So, and does anyone have any questions, actually, off the get-go? I know I kind of hit you with that. I want to hear some, if you guys have any questions on that scene.
No, that was fantastic.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah,
I thought, very
clear.
well played.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, going into scene 2, traits and bonds. This is where we'll start with the narrative, but the airship has crashed. Its hull wedged into the dirt and the muck of the crater's edge. It's clear the vessel won't be flying anytime soon, and from the center of the pit you can see irregular pulses of glowing energy. The source of purple light at the bottom is still active. So, as you all collectively see the couple of people that are on the airship with the captain that are just they're for better words just kind of like in a oh crap moment, like what are we going to do? This is our livelihood, and they're just trying to figure out what they're doing and pick the pieces up here. But the captain goes up to you and he starts scratching his head and he goes, "Oh, this is a mess, all right. Pretty sure you all got your work cut out for you down there, too." He nods over at the center of the crater. "We'll survey the damage and see what can be fixed. Your Highness, I'm sorry, I know you kind of paid some big bucks for getting to the destination, but I do apologize for this moment. I was not expecting a critical mass of purple energy to hit the hull of the ship, so I hope it's forgivable."
Leon, my darling, and I take his hand or his face in my hand, and I just hold it and I say, "All is totally well. Just tell Papa that you need a little bit more money, and it'll be just fine." Could you grab my bags?
Yeah, we got to make sure the bags are still on the ship, Your Highness. And on top of that, if I'm not mistaken, we were doing this incognito, so your dad didn't know about this. So I don't want to step over any red tape here. That's it. I don't want to get you in trouble. I don't want to get executed.
I forgot about that, and but okay, he would just want his daughter or child to be safe, but it's all right. Anyway, I have a bag of balls I'm looking for. It's very important.
Well, I'll send Winthrop down to go check out the base here and see if that hopefully everything's still here. In the meantime, is anyone hurt? Are you hurt, Your Highness? Is anyone else on the hip? And then you hear the guy at the bottom of the deck is like, "I'm still hurt." He's like, "You're fine. We'll just rub some dirt on it and a couple of other things. Just give it a moment here. We're getting paid customers taken care of." But he does go over to Edgar. And he looks at you and goes, "You're all right, kid? You seem a little phased there."
Yeah, I have. It's been a while since I've seen something like that happen. I've been taking some notes about the ship. Here, let me. Here, and I'm going to tear the pages out of the. I think this will help you get the repairs, but I know I've got a mission with Blair and the others, so I'm sorry I can't help and stay, but I'll try and get back and help as soon as I can.
Hey, the ship is inanimate. Granted, the magical constructs are going to be a little bit of an expense, but at the same time, I'm glad you're all right. I'm not an adventurer. You guys are adventurers. That's what you guys were paid to go take care of. I would say at the very least, your job is important, going down there and stopping whatever that purple energy is, or we're never going to get out of here. So, but here, he goes, snaps his fingers, and one of the other ship decks come on, and they reach into a bag, and they go, "Here, drink this, kid." And they give you just what looks to be a little vial of a maybe yellow liquid. And trust me, you'll be fine. As you drink it, there's an assuredness to you. This was a traumatic moment, but anything that may have dazed you in the circumstance, you feel uplifted, you feel calm again. And at the very least, in the circumstance, maybe you can find better ways of improving the ship for later research.
Oh, thank you, Captain. I think I'm gonna be okay. I think I'm gonna be okay.
It's, I'm glad to hear it, kid. And if you need something else to kind of tip the nerves, he goes to a little vest and pulls out a flask, and he's like, how old are you, kid?
I'm 17, sir.
It's drinking age. Here, and he takes off the cap, and he's like, you want a sip?
Okay. What is that?
Oh, it's the finest spirits down below over in Denova. We call it the Shithole.
Tastes like engine fumes.
Hey, you got a good palate on you, kid. I mean, I've been around it for so long, I kind of forget what the taste and the smell differentiates. But hey, I like what good assessment. I really like that.
I really appreciate it, but no more, please.
No problem. Message loud and clear. You just assess yourself. I've got people taking care of your highness's requests, and he goes over to then Levine, and he goes, "That was very impressive what you were able to do there. That's quite a feat you're doing. I don't think anyone else had the strength to do what you did. Where'd you learn to do that?"
It was really nothing. Just training. Endless training.
Well, I want to assure your endless training kept us from going 6 feet. Well, not 6 feet under, like 200 feet under, but nonetheless, I appreciate your help. But I'm sure everyone really appreciates that. What was your name again, ma'am?
Levine.
Levine. Sorry. I'm Leon. Not really. It's not really my job to talk to the people on the ship normally, but given the circumstance, you were all in my responsibility. I just want to ensure everything's okay.
I am glad that nothing worse happened.
Yeah, I'm getting a little bit of a sense the fact that you're adventurers. That may not be the case, but I'm not going to be held accountable for it. So that's whatever you do off the ship is your business. So he gives you kind of a nod and walks over, and he looks up at the top of the crow's nest area, and he goes, Captain, you coming down anytime soon? That was thanks for the extra oversight. And I just kind of had my head up my ass trying to keep the whole the wheel conditions. So I appreciate the taking over.
Cassandra.
I'm sorry. One moment. I must interject. Have you seen my tangerines?
Are you asking Cassandra?
I'm asking anyone who will listen to me. Has anyone seen my tangerines?
I think from up here I can see one way over there. I don't know where the rest of them are, though.
Thank you, darling. I'm going to go find it.
You might find some more in the galley.
I'll be back.
Okay. And Cassandra was kind of like half hanging out of the crow's nest at this point. She's like, I really can't believe she's asking about her damn tangerines. And she kind of pulls herself back up, and she's trying to straighten her clothing and whatnot, because, Captain must look presentable. The crew, oh goodness, and then she starts descending back down the mast.
Levine takes another piece of tangerine and offers one to Edgar. This might help take some of the taste out of your mouth.
Oh, thank you.
You're very welcome.
Oh, that's better.
He goes up to Cassandra real quick, and he's like, "Are you okay?"
Blair, you can't juggle a half-eaten tangerine. You're gonna have to find some other ones.
So I think this exchange is an excellent opener into the traits and bonds of this scene and chapter. So traits on your character sheets, while character attributes represent the affinity towards different approaches to the challenge, mechanically, traits are the narrative concepts that make your character unique. This is very important in actual character creation, but it has equal value as you are going forward with this character that you're representing. So in your traits, you see 3 things: identity, theme, and origin. As most can probably see, the identity represents what your character currently sees themselves as there is the former captain of the Skyriders of Cassandra. There is, and I'm sorry, I don't have everything in front of me. There's the heir of Denova with Blair.
Mhm.
Then there is, help me out, Edgar. What is yours? The young inventor.
Yeah, it says,
right?
yeah, it says young inventor who survived.
That's right.
Oh.
Well, man, you've got a knack for this twice now. And then we have Levine, the princess without a kingdom. Those are all representations of your character currently. As the game would continue, there's a possibility your identity changes based on your actions, based on what happens in the narrative of this game. Then you have the theme, which represents the dominant narrative that forces the drive of your character's story. For Cassandra, I think is guilt?
Doubt.
Doubt, sorry. Doubt.
Doubt.
Then for Edgar, it is hope, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Levine, I believe, is guilt. Is that
Yes,
correct?
Levine is indeed guilt.
And Blair's is
Oh.
duty, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
To which then we have origin, where you're from. If everyone would like to say where they're from in their origin, we'll start with Edgar.
Pemble.
Pemble. Then we have Levine.
Armorica.
Then we have Cassandra.
Stormkeep.
Stormkeep. And then we have Blair.
I think you know where I'm from. Denova.
I wanted to give their Royal Highness the opportunity to talk. I wasn't going to deny her presence of being well aware of who she is, or they are, whatever the pronouns are they, them, but feel free to whatever you want to represent. But that being said, in the full game, like I said, it will continue to change. Origin doesn't really, but maybe your theme will. You know, maybe that duty will eventually be disingenuously taken away from you. Maybe hope will be destroyed. It's not all negative. Maybe one of guilt will find peace. Yes.
Josh, I have a question. When you play the game as a new player, are you automatically assigned these themes just as we are?
No, you actually come up with them. This is part. So everything from start is created for you guys. It starts with the world, and then you create your characters of maybe where they existed in the world you've created. It is meant to be not long term, but you can make arcs in a collaborative narrative. But that would be like 8 more breakdown hours of a design that they would rather you buy their book for to explain to you. So that's why it is a little condensed. But yes, it is very encouraging to create whatever you have as far as the narrative is continued. But this is where it's going to get a little interesting, because now that we have the traits of your character, I'm going to ask every single one of you your questions, and I'm going to give you about 5 to 10 minutes to kind of come up with some backstory that comes with this. So we're going to start with Blair, as it says, you are the heir to the throne of Denova, and you believe it is your duty to protect your people and stop the Elonian Empire from seizing control of the crater of Megiddo. Your father, the king, thinks otherwise, and ordered you not to abandon the royal palace. So my question's for you, and this is where the narrative really comes into play. How did the crater of Megiddo come to be? What disaster turned a prosperous city of Megiddo, home to the greatest magic in the world, into a sunken mass of ruined buildings? What terrible secret do you fear the Elonians might uncover? Then there's a second question. Is your position as heir an honor or a burden?
Let me write these down. Hang on.
I'm going to post them. I'm posting them in
Oh,
a
God.
Discord thread, so I will be posting.
Wow,
Okay.
that was all one question?
I'm
That
like,
was
hold
a big
on.
That's
I
a lot
will-
of
Prepared.
I
right there.
learned the
Right on
first
track.
time to post these, so I will be posting these shortly. So,
Cool.
is your position as heir an honor or a burden? When your father forbade you from taking action against Elonia, was he trying to protect you? So, I'm going to post that here shortly. Actually, I'll go ahead and do that right now. Boop. Maybe. Ha ha ha! You thought I was prepared for that. Give me 1 second here. Actually, I think that might be actually in the Foundry. GM tools, Game Master, journals. My apologies on this, guys. Give me 1 second here.
No worries.
Okay, no worries.
Okay, this is a condensed version, but that's fine. So I'm going to put this in general for you. Layer. And then also okay. So you can start thinking about that if you want to type. Like I said, I'm going to give you guys about 10 minutes, like to work with. It doesn't have to be the grandest of backstory. It's just to give you guys a little depth of your character. So, are you good with that, guys? As far as what I gave you.
I see 2 questions here. Is there a third?
No, it's just 2. It was just this is a condensed version of the question. It's just written out a little more extended. So,
got it. Okay.
So we're gonna go to Cassandra.
Mm-hmm.
Or is it? Sorry, I have been corrected by my player. It's Cassandra. So you choose if it's Cassandra or Cassandra, whatever you would like. But that's how I'm.
It doesn't matter to me. You can go back and forth if you want. It's all good.
You are the former captain of the Skyriders, the elite soldiers to Stormkeep. You came here after hearing rumors of a woman with a white spear among the Elonians. The same spear your mentor, Desdemona, and I will, don't worry, I will give you the wording of that, used to wield. The idea she might have sided with Elonia fills you with doubt. Desdemona left Stormkeep after a violent death of her brother Tristan. What was your relationship with the two of them, and how did Tristan die? I will paste those out for you. It's probably faster for me to type this real quick. Hold on, muting my mic here. I'm about to type that, and there was one more. I'm sorry. Why have you abandoned your position as a captain? Why are you the former Skyrider? All right. So we will go to Edgar.
Okay.
You are a young inventor from the village of Pemba, where you survived a terrible accident. You rebuilt your right arm using Magitech science, the same that allows Elonia to create robotic soldiers. Even so, you hope to learn more about Magitech and use it to make the world a better place. What happened in Pemba? Why did you leave the village afterwards?
Okay.
Then, due to Elonia's actions, Magitech will be forever associated with war. But at least they are not sending living people into battle, insinuating most of their army is actually of Magitech constructs. I feel that needs to be emphasized that it wasn't in the book. But what are your thoughts of the Empire's use to not really have lives of expenditure, but also weaponize Magitech is a better word to it. So You know.
Okay.
And I actually will do this real quick. My apologies again. I think it'll be easier for me to. I thought this would be in the actual Foundry thing, but it is not.
Are you sure it's not? Because I think it's in the biography and info section.
Oh, are they? Great. Fantastic. I may
Yeah.
not have. That makes
The
it
one that
even
looks
easier.
like a little piece of paper with a pencil by it.
Thank you very much, Kara.
You're so welcome. Because I opened mine and I went, I should probably tell him not to copy and paste because I can look at it.
Please, thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh my gosh, yes, they're right there on the character sheets. Thank you. And I'm sorry for our watchers that watched me type stuff for 3 minutes. So, does everyone find what she was talking about on their character
Where
sheets?
is it?
So if you bring up your character sheet, you'll see in the middle, you'll see stats, classes, features, spells, items, and then there's like a paper and a pencil. And right under it is biography. And it also says your traits, your identity, your theme.
Okay.
So, and then, does anyone have issues finding that yet?
Yeah, where is it again? Oh, a pencil. Oh, right there. I got it.
It's okay.
It's okay. It's a lot. I use this
There's a lot of
software like
buttons.
every couple of weeks.
And I
so, like,
and I
know
only
it.
do it monthly, so and I don't use the character player sheet, so I do very much appreciate that. Thank you, Kara.
Happy to help.
So that leaving the last individual, as you've already seen on probably your biography, but I will go ahead and deliver it.
Please do.
You are a princess without a kingdom. Your home on Morica was conquered by Alonia. Powerless, you witnessed the Empire taking everything you held dear, including your loved ones. Your heart is heavy with guilt, and you will do anything in your power to save Nova from the similar fate. Why did Alonia attack Amorica? What powerful weapon or magical artifact did they take from your kingdom? Armorica's dark metal is known as one of the best protections in the world, and your armor was a precious gift. Who gifted it to you, and what was your relationship? So, I am going to just give you guys about 5 to 10 minutes to come up with what you have at the ready, and then we'll go forth into bots. If you would like, we can go in the order the same way I asked. That kind of gave people to mentally prepare. So first we will go back to Blair, as we asked how the crater came to be, what disaster turned it into what it was as a prosperous magical city, and then is your position as an heir an honor or a burden? When your father forbade you from taking action against Alonia, was he trying to protect you?
So I believe that this was our ancestral home,
Okay.
and that there was a cabal of evil wizards who tried to steal it from us. And while this was our ancestral home, I believe that this cabal continues to exist. And in fact, while I do enjoy juggling balls, there's more to it. You see.
No. Sorry.
You see, I believe that this cabal continues to wreak havoc on my father's kingdom, masqueraded as a circus.
That's just a circus.
And so I'm actually, as much as I love, and I'm actually quite good at juggling and music and merriment, I'm also deeply undercover,
Okay.
trying to infiltrate their ranks.
Ooh.
I love that.
I am the worst. I feel like my note taking is just a paragraph of doctor writing prescription. I will not make sense of it once I read it. But in that, so what happened to make it a ruin? Was it just some? I'll let you decide.
They cast. So I would say that the city was actually held together by some very powerful magical gems that lived underneath the city. And that they became aware of this, and they attempted to steal them by using their magic to try to destroy the entire city to get to where the gems had actually been hidden. I would even go so far as to say that I think they were partially successful,
Okay.
but not fully successful, because if they were fully successful, we'd be playing a different game.
Fair point. Okay. And then to follow up as far as your position as heir, a burden or an honor to you? Is your father forbidding you from taking action against Alonia? Do you feel he's trying to protect you, or is this a... I'll let you decide. What
Oh,
that is.
yes. He's definitely trying to protect me, but it is my honor to serve. And to protect the kingdom and all of our constituents.
Awesome. That was...
But I'm not going to let... So here's the thing. I'm going to keep playing high bard over here because I don't want to let on that's what's going on.
That's 100% okay.
Okay.
That is a beautiful... No one said their duty has to have the... Like, it has to come with order and, structure. As long as you're encouraging and supporting your people, that is what you're aiming to do. And you did just that by giving the assured music and helped keep the ship from crashing.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
So the next person we will go to was, if I'm not mistaken, it was... Yes, it was Cassandra. So just going to I gave you the rundown as far as Desdemona and being a mentor. Desdemona left Stormkeep after a violent death of her brother Tristan. What was your relationship with the two of them? How did Tristan die?
Cassandra was hired by the two of them to retrieve some type of artifact. She did so, and then that artifact somehow possessed Tristan. And there was trouble ensued, a fight, and Cassandra actually killed Tristan in self-defense.
Oof.
Then Desdemona could not forgive her at all, had her removed from the post of captain and exiled from the city.
Okay. And that kind of goes tied into it. Says, why have you abandoned your position as a captain? But that you had it removed.
Involuntarily.
Yeah. All right. And to recap what we were saying on there, is as Cassandra's been on the ship, as she's heard that this woman who is holding wielding a spear, similar to her mentor Desdemona, with Alonians. What is... I'm going to continue off of that. Is Cassandra hoping to confirm this to be true, or hoping this is a hoax?
She's hoping it's a hoax because she's hoping that she doesn't have to doubt Desdemona's true character because she's afraid she's actually coming after her to avenge her for killing her, her brother.
Okay.
She's hoping that that's not the case.
Very good. Thank you. I like that a lot. All right, we go to Edgar, the young inventor from the village of Pemble. What happened in Pemble? Why did you leave the village afterward?
Okay, so Edgar's mentor was a renowned inventor named Serana Silverhand, and she was from the city, but she moved to the village of Pemble, took Edgar under her wing, and was working on a system of magitech that would have provided a free energy system for the entire village. And if that prototype worked, it would have changed the world. They could have introduced that to everywhere. However, one night when they were close to a breakthrough, some shadowy figures broke into the lab and sabotaged everything. And they caused an explosion, and Edgar believes that Serana was tragically lost. And not only that, but in the morning he found that the entire village blamed Edgar and Serana for the explosion, as if maybe they were framed. And so Edgar, in that village especially, has a tarnished reputation, and he decided to leave the village, strike out on his own, and he's hoping to find a way to complete this project, to honor his beloved mentor's memory and to bring prosperity to the whole world.
Love it. It did say you survived the accident that took place. What exactly happened for your arm to be?
Yeah, so that explosion took the arm off, and Edgar probably had to take what was left in the lab and put it back together himself.
Love it.
He has a gentle demeanor, but inside he's got a very strong will to survive.
Fantastic. And the second follow-up, it says, due to Elonia's actions just around the world of where we're at, and them weaponizing and associating with war, but there's kind of this mid-carry where that they're not sending people out to die, but there's obviously a weaponization. What is his thoughts as he has such a high regard with magic tech, but the way it's being used?
Sure. So Edgar is not naive. He's young, but he's not naive. He knows that war is something that is just a part of this world and is kind of inevitable, and he understands why these Magitech soldiers are being used. But he believes that it is better to use that Magitech to create a world where war is not necessary. And so when they're mass producing these soldiers or whatever they're doing, he sees it as a waste of time and resources when they could be doing something that benefits everyone.
Fantastic. I sound so condescending, but I'm loving this, like, as I'm writing it down. So I'm loving everything these people are giving. So. All right. And the final. The Levine Fulbright, a princess without a kingdom. Why did Elonia attack Armorica? What powerful weapon or magical artifact did they take from your kingdom?
So, Elonia attacked Armonia to gain control of the dark metal mines. Just makes sense.
Yeah.
And what they took were the crowns that my parents wore, which also serve as keys to enter those dark metal mines. Without the 2 crowns, you cannot get in.
Awesome. And as that being so, the dark metal is some of the most protected, or one of the best protections in the world, and your armor was a precious gift. Who gifted to you, and what was the relationship with them?
Levine's armor was gifted to her by her older brother, Lucian. He taught her the ways of the sword, much to their parents' dismay. They didn't really want her to be learning weaponry, but there it is. And the reason that she was spared from being captured with the rest of her family that day is that she was supposed to go train with Lucian, and actually stole his sword as sort of a prank, taking it with her, knowing that this would cause him to be delayed. He'd have to look around for it, and she'd get to tease him about being late. But he just never showed. And she couldn't go home again.
I think that is an adequate, dark description for someone who is living in guilt of what has happened in their town or their city. Fantastic for everything that is brought to the table. So now in Fabula Ultima, you guys just gave me a bunch of stuff to work with, and as GM, it is my job to bring it in. But however, as we go into the story, and this would be in a much further extent, this ammo I use against you also has inspiration to you guys, and you will collaborate with how this story continues. But we're going to push forward with that, but I want you to understand why you guys gave me all of this, because as everyone's ran games, and they understand the power of a backstory, and you can use it to invoke hope or do awful things to your players. I am not aiming to do anything to in any circumstance in this, but this does give me value into the game. So, that being said, we've taken those backstories, these traits that are now kind of defined a little bit more. You have an understanding of what your character is representing. We're going to go into what is bonds. And that is the second part on your character sheet under traits. And bonds, as characters define who they are, or characters' traits define who they are, but to grow stronger, heroes need connections. They need to feel emotions towards others. In this game, it is represented by bonds. So, in the full version, you have up to 6 bonds you can have at one point in time. In this game, you'll have up to 3 as a possibility. But what we're going to do, as you had this moment where the ship went into disarray, there was all this crash, and you guys had to kind of work together, what you are all going to do is pick one bond with another associated character. And what you can do is, if you go to the character, you can either look at your character sheet. I believe showcases all of those, if I'm not mistaken. Let me look. Yes, under bonds, you will see in each option there is a column where it says admiration or inferiority, loyalty and mistrust, affection and hatred. You can find those on the PDFs, or you can find them in the bio link you guys looked at when you saw the questions on Foundry. What I want everyone to do is just take a moment to think what bond they want to apply to another character based on what they experienced in the circumstance of the airship falling. What I love about this, and this will be explained later, is this is one of the core elements to Fabula Ultima in really putting mechanical value to also what you're creating narratively. But they will continue to hone and create these things as you have resting scenes where you can build the bonds with it, but you don't have to make it where it's all aligned in one order, where you have like admiration, loyalty, and affection. They don't have to be all positive. You can do inferiority and loyalty and really develop these awesome kind of moldable bonds with things that really role play the narrative of what your character is doing.
Josh,
Yes.
question. Do we select one bond type per character or multiple per
Just
character?
just one character with one bond. So you will either pick one. You can pick one of admiration or inferiority, or loyalty or mistrust, or affection or hatred. You cannot do both. Like, you can't do admiration and inferiority. Those share one column. Loyalty and mistrust share one column, and affection and hatred share one column. You can only have one of each column, but you're only applying one at this moment to a particular character. Did I convey that all right? I know it's a little...
Yep.
No,
Okay.
I don't understand that.
One person and one of those six things. That's
Yes.
it. One
Yes.
of us, one of
Thank
those
you.
6.
Thank you.
Got it. Okay.
And let me know once you got something.
And are we picking one of each other?
Yeah.
Is that what we're doing? Got
Of
it.
what in the experiences you had, what inspired that one bond?
So I'll give an example. I am choosing to build a bond with Edgar of affection because I am so like I was so like, he's trying his best. I want to protect this little bean with all of my might. So much.
I actually wanted to form a bond of admiration for Levine because she was able, when everything was going down, she was not only able to keep cool, but she was able to help some other people. And when Captain Leon's drink was, I took it. She came over and she knew exactly what I needed. She gave me the tangerine to wash it off. So yeah, he's a big Levine fan now.
Team Levine.
Bond buddies.
Yeah.
Funny.
So thank you for that example, Kara. Once again,
Yeah,
it helps having someone playing it and me conveying that, relaying that to others. So we'll go ahead and go to Blair. What would you decide to apply your bond to, and who?
I applied my admiration bond to Cassandra. I was very impressed with how she jumped in and tried to right the ship and took charge, even if it wasn't her ship to do so. And I thought that was really cool.
Awesome. And Cassandra.
I want to ask Blair first. Do we know that you're an heir? Are you hiding that from us too?
That's a great
or
question.
Just from everybody else?
Yeah.
I am not hiding it.
Okay. So we know.
I'm not hiding it, but maybe I'm not saying like why, I'm not giving all the details.
But we know that you have.
I would say so, yeah.
Okay. Well, that works great then, because I picked a bond with Blair of inferiority.
Uh-oh.
She feels inferior to her, both in her heritage and her juggling capabilities.
Of course. If there was nothing precedent set other.
Right? And she feels a little inferior too, that Blair was able to like calm everybody down on the ship as it was crashing, and that's what she was trying to do as a captain, but Blair seemed to be so much better at it.
I love that.
She likes Blair very much, but she feels a little inferior to her.
Fantastic. And of course, I started to go on my own tangent. There was a perfect example. 2 sentences right below, but I liked Kara's better, so I appreciate that injection. But with that, to understand though, real quick, now that you all have a bond, you have a bond of 1 towards your characters. So those number of emotions that you're developing over time, right now, you said there's 1, there can be up to 3. That's the bond strength. So as you continue to evolve it, you had admiration from 1 column, you could pick another, it'll be 2, and then 3, but that won't be achieved in this full game. So just to understand that. But what that does is it gives you a range of strength from 1 to 3. Right now it's all 1. However, if someone had a bond of inferiority and mistrust, it would be a strength of 2. We're not really going to deep dive into that, but just to understand. But right now, the bond you created only has 1 emotion, it being 1. Later on, you'll be able to add new emotions, as I just relayed on that. So this is where the one part of the press start that I feel this needs to be conveyed, because we just went into a depth of your traits and bonds. Mechanically, these things are used in your game, whether you're rolling checks or you're going into combat, anything that requires a roll. There's these things, as I said earlier, called Fabula points, and we will go into that here shortly. You use these Fabula points that you acquire through the game as the player. You can then use that Fabula point to invoke a trait, to have a reroll happen. So kind of think of it as an inspiration. So let's say you roll really bad, you can invoke one of these traits, and you give a narrative reason why they feel inspired to have this moment of achievement, to which then you hope to re-roll a better result. You can roll 1 die or both, either way. But we'll get to that point. Bonds, they add you can use a Fabula point to add that strength to a situation using the narrative let's basically say you just needed that 1 more point to be successful in a roll. You can use, for example, the admiration of Edgar use admiration, right?
Yeah.
Towards Levine. You would have this admiration that she's done all these fantastic things. You admire everything she wants to do, but you just want to do what she can, and you use your admiration bond to get that 1 extra point to achieve a roll. So that you're trying to use those for narrative reasons, but they're mechanically there for that achievement. Now, Fabula points, like I said, we'll go through a little bit here in a minute, but there's a lot of awesome things you can do with that achievement of those Fabula points. Okay. Does that make sense? Am I relaying that as far as the application on that? You haven't seen it yet, but you will be seeing this very shortly in how it's done. Okay. Is any questions as we go forward? Because we are now out of that scene 2. We're going to start getting a little more gritty, and some stuff's going to start happening here.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Edgar starts polishing his pistol.
I throw up a tangerine to see if you can shoot it. I found my box, by the way.
I can shoot it twice in one round.
Ooh.
Nice. We're making orange juice right now.
Nice. So
There's raining OJ.
we're going to just go with this real quick. We're going to have you do an accuracy check with your pistol.
Sorry if I hit you in the head.
So are you, is Blair, like, are you doing a tossing type of thing in the air just to kind of lay him up? All right.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm going to just give it a difficult, it's kind of weird. I'm mixing an accuracy check with a but it's fine. That's the beautiful part about Fabula. So you need to beat an 8. Actually, no, we'll make it a 7. It's being late.
So this is a roll check.
It's a roll. So actually, you're going to do an accuracy check with your pistol. Go to your inventory.
Inventory.
And
Items?
you'll see your items. Sorry, my apologies. And then you'll literally just click the pistol.
Okay.
And it should roll for you.
Oh. Uh-oh. Sorry.
So as you shoot up there. But as that's what I say, you could use a Fabula point. Now I have not invoked these yet. But this is where if you failed, you could use a trait, your Fabula point, to use your trait using your theme, your origin, or your identity to kind of inspire why you would reroll. And you could choose to reroll both dice, or let's say you see the better average of rolling a 5 was pretty good, you could just roll the 1.
Okay.
Does that make sense as far as the use of that?
Okay, so I rolled there was a 5 that I rolled, and there was a 1 that I rolled.
Mm-hmm. And you have a modifier. You have a modifier +1 because you have sharpshooter. So you rolled a 7, but I gave you. Oh no, you did hit 7. I said 8 and then moved to 7. So you did hit it. My apologies.
Okay.
Okay. So yes, you did hit it as you just, and the tangerine turns into orange juice into the air as it drops in pulp onto the ground.
Spin it back.
It was like, really? You folks, I mean, this is sticky.
You see Leon, like, just trying to work the ship, just like he's doing his thing now, but Blair's catching the orange juice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Edgar looked over to Levine to see if she was watching.
He gives you a little nod. Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks.
That being said, we are going to now go, since we've got a little bit more of our understanding of the characters, we are going to go into Scene 3, which is known as Shadows.
I also just want to let you know, if you see me yawning at all, I swear to God, I am not bored. I've just been up. I promise.
I promise I'm not going to take offense to it at all.
Thank you. Please don't.
So you should be able to start seeing the next scene.
Ooh,
Oh, there it is.
I like it.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
The scene changes. We now see inside of an ancient building, perhaps a temple. It's a dark room illuminated by dim purple glow. Supporting the roof of a massive bronze pillar, decorated with ancient symbols. The pillar is filled with cracks, from which are seeping rays of intense energy. We hear the clacking of armored heels on the stone floor. Then we see a hand approach the pillar, it wrapped in a silver gauntlet. The scientists in Alonia were right, a feminine voice says. The compass was left buried here ever since the disaster. Now that we have it, dear brother, now it will bring you back for good. Two shadows stand against the purple light, one in a massive, giant clad in armor, the other shorter and thinner, wielding a long spear. It seems our heroes haven't much time. So, what you witnessed in Fabula Ultima is a scene that is a little different from D&D and stuff. This is a cinematic scene where you as the player see things that are going on. But the characters don't. This is happening at the same time. In this is where Fabula points are going to be relatively brought in, but you just witnessed the villains of the story. And in doing so, in Fabula Ultima, as I don't think I really need to explain what villains are, they are the contrast to you as heroes. And villains follow special rules, but I will deal with those later. For now, they are just powerful, non-playable characters as far as you're concerned. And this is where we go into Fabula points. So, Fabula points, as I said, are truly what make player characters special. When you get to gain Fabula points, a freshly created player character receives 3 Fabula points. And afterwards, you gain 1 Fabula point whenever you roll a fumble on a check, which means double ones. A villain enters the scene, no matter if it's in the cinematic mode or in your scene. Since the Game Master scene just took place with 2 villains, so you started your characters with 3. You saw 2 villains. You get a Fabula point for each villain. So you now have 5 Fabula points to work with in your inventory, for better words, or your actions. So those are now what empower you as a player to use those Fabula points for, as we talk about traits and bonds. There is also a few other things. So on spending Fabula points, after performing a check, like I said, is rolling the die. If you did not roll a fumble, that's the big point there. If you did not roll a fumble, you may spend 1 Fabula point to invoke one of your traits, identity, theme, or origin, as we kind of just did earlier with Edgar, and re-roll 1 or both dice to hopefully get a better result with the roll. After performing it, you can also, after performing a check, spend 1 Fabula point to invoke your bond, and add the strength of that bond, which is the number of emotions you guys cumulative, or you have for your character. Right now, you're all at 1. You can only do this once per check, just so you know. So if you fail, you can't just keep re-invoking bonds and traits to try to get the roll. It says, when you invoke a trait or bond, explain how elements help your character. So that's the part of the narrative. If you're going to use your origin, use that as the base of why you're aiming to succeed. Your theme of your guilt, whatever the case. That is what kind of empowers the mechanicals of your success. Because you guys are supposed to be awesome. You're supposed to be grand heroes, and this enforces this. Are we good so far?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. And that is that on scene 3.
Nice.
Nice.
So as we go to scene 3, or at least scene 3, we're going to go into scene 4, which is the descent. Oh, I'm not going to move those people off. They are not there. Don't want to make you... So, even though it's visually here, you are made it your way to the crater, or at the tip of the crater. There's no clear path towards the bottom of the crater. The place is littered with rubble, collapsed buildings, and shattered columns. The whole area whispers of the lives that were lost here. A maze of ruins bathed in ominous purple light coming from a large building several hundred meters below where you are. From now on, let's see here. So this is a little narrative for me. Gotcha. So the crater itself is a veritable maze, and you can see the ruins from the distance. And Blair, this is probably more than likely the first time you've actually seen the grand city that was originally your heritage, your existence. But you're all going to have to make your way down. So, in doing so, I would like to kind of hear what you're wanting to do. And this is also worth knowing. Inventory in this game, we haven't gotten to what's called inventory points, but it's assumed. If you're going to be like traveling and stuff, you're going to have like pitons and rope and stuff. You're not really doing a whole inventory list of things that would be pretty much normal as an adventurer. But as you get to the rim of the crater, you see certain types of different ledges. You might see a couple of ruined buildings that are probably about 40, 50, 60 feet deep. Far from a jump by any means. So, in doing this, you are going to try to, and I'm not trying to rob you of your creativity, this is progression so we can see the continuation of how the game works. Trying to get down, how are you all going to achieve this? And we'll be doing this by what's called a group check. A group check is what you guys work together. We kind of do that in D&D where everyone says roll a persuasion or what, and you kind of take the average. That is not how it works in this. In this, you all pick a leader who is going to lead the group check. And based on what you guys are going to try to do, I'm going to give you the whatever it's going to require, might, dexterity, insight, whatever it is. So they're going to have to beat a certain difficulty level. The rest of you have to beat that difficulty level of 10. You have to roll the same exact die. So everyone who is successful gives a +1 to the leader. So there is an element where if you are all thinking about, is Levine going to start trying to carry people down or something like that? They're probably the one you want to be the leader, and you are going to kind of narratively say how you're contributing to this. Does that make sense so far? So, in doing that, if you would achieve that, we would make Levine the leader. I would give a difficulty, let's say 13 of might of just climbing. Everyone else has to do a might as well. If you beat a 10 or better, they get a +1 to the roll to the succession. So, but I know I kind of gave you that option, but if you feel free to come up with something else of how you guys want to come down there. I don't want to remove your creativity. Also remember, you get to create some stuff. Like, you can say how the stuff is laid out.
Sure.
I have a bunch of yo-yos in my backpack.
Oh, shit.
And
Of course you do.
I'm also very good with a yo-yo, but do you think that would be good enough to string together and get us down? I mean, in theory, they go up and down, so we could, land more gently.
We may want to use rope.
I have rope.
Thicker. Yeah.
I have a lot of rope, actually. I use rope all the time. Pull it out of my backpack.
Wonderful.
Blair, that's a very good idea. That's brilliant. We just indeed need it to be bigger.
A good start to the concept.
Yes.
Got us moving.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Now we will need to secure this rope to something.
Looking around.
Oh, let's see. Is there some big rocks or log or some ruins? Maybe we can wrap it around. Something that doesn't look too crumbly. A lot of this stuff looks a little old.
Yeah, I'll start searching around for. Yeah, maybe. So there's old ruins of a city, right? So
yes.
Would there be old maybe pillars or bars or something from one of the old houses?
I would say absolutely in this circumstance.
Okay.
Perfect.
And I will preface there's a little more continuation on this. Fabula points also can be later spent to alter the story, which gives you the advantage to, instead of asking me what you find, you can use an to say that happened.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
this is there. I say so. Yeah.
Right? That's all.
But
for this circumstance,
we haven't gotten there yet, so I think they're just trying to focus on the group check. So I'm going to just say yes to make it easier. So, but yes, you would see some sort of runes that have some sturdy reinforcement to it. So if the succession is you guys are going to try to tie and climb down, I'm going to go with it'll be an insight of understanding the proper way of doing it. Then we're going to go with might as far as the strength to carry your way down. So I'm going to let you guys choose who's going to be your leader. And by all means, use that in a mid-max type of way, metagame way of who would best benefit, because it's not always going to be the succession. But I do, as the game continues, if you play more, encourage you to not always rely on the best scenario. So
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. My insight is my lowest stat, so.
Same.
Uh-oh.
Insight is probably my highest. It's a D10.
Oh,
Yeah,
then
10
yeah,
is
you should guide
I
us
have
here.
a 10 for might, but a 10 and a 6 is not as good as an 8 and a 10.
Yeah.
All right, I'll lead us, but I need somebody to hold my high heels first. Who has room in their bag?
I'll do it for you.
Okay, thank you. So, I will put my heels in the bag, and she has actually pretty. If you're paying a lot of attention, you'd realize her feet are actually much more rugged than you'd realize. It's sort of weird. Like, why does she have on heels when her feet look like they've been well worn? But we won't discuss that. And so she rolled a 15.
Okay. Before you roll, they will be rolling to give you pluses, technically, but you were successful on that. So, I would like to see everyone do an insight and might to see what pluses they would give, even though Blair was very successful in that. So,
Okay. And this is under group check?
you don't have to press group check, just do a roll check, because not everyone's using the Foundry. So I'm doing this cumulatively. Wow. Okay. Wow. Okay.
Okay, I need some help again.
Yeah.
Then, just a roll check.
Just a roll check. Yeah.
I understand. Insight first and
then might.
second.
Mhm.
I'm catching on.
Got it?
So, 2 people succeeded. It would give the +2 normally to your leader who would have rolled that. So that would put it at a 17 for Blair. Now, in this circumstance, also, this is where, let's say you actually rolled a 9. This is where using a Fabula point to invoke your bond towards Blair would have been a benefit to do so. Also, I'm sorry, does anyone, is Cassandra the only one that has one towards Blair?
Yes.
Okay. You automatically get +1 also to your roll check. So because they're whoever has the highest bond with them gets whatever that bond score is, which is only 1 right now. So it would be an 18. A phenomenal roll. So yes, you are very successful in achieving that. I would love to see how Blair navigates. I mean, lead by example with this rope and how they climb down with their heels off.
It's gonna be great.
Well, she's already pulled out a yo-yo. She's actually, she listened to them on the rope, but she is going to do this in style, which means she's going to sort of be using the yo-yo to test how far they are from the bottom as she's holding on and rolling down. And she's sort of trying to hit it against the wall to see just to get insight on if there's any danger in the way. Okay, guys, it's clear. Come on down.
See that? She's fantastic at this. I could never do that. I don't understand where she comes up with these ideas.
Well, it's not that hard. It's just a rope. You can do it.
Well, I suppose I'll give it a shot. And then she starts shimmying down the rope.
You are all successful in trying to descend, but I would like to also hear Edgar and the approach. I want to see some flair of all their approaches of how they climb down.
Okay. So Edgar is he's gonna peer over and analyze everything. He's gonna look at all the spots. This might be a good place to put my foot down, and I have to be careful of this, and that one looks unstable. So he's gonna formulate a plan and then go down.
Fantastic. Levine, how do you descend down?
Levine is just brute strength in this one. It is muscly arms going down one chunk at a time. Thunk, thunk, thunk.
Nice.
Fantastic. As you descend down to the ground and see the more reality check for how bad it really was to what happened in this crater, Blair. Whatever magical anomalies or destruction happened is purely upfront and a result of maybe why it was best you all moved away from here, but the depths of it is in question. But as you start to see that pillar in the distance, that dome that's glowing in purple, you have experienced some difficulties, but as you get to the dome-shaped building, strewn amidst the rubble, you noticed remains of several Alonian Magitech soldiers. Some lie motionless on the ground. Others hiss and shake with sparks as they're wandering the ruin like something has recently happened.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that? Alonian magic, what was that?
Magitech. So they are they're constructs that are based off science and magic. So, for better words, androids, robots, for a better word.
Okay.
But as they continue to walk aimlessly around, suddenly you notice a small cloaked person running at you. And you see behind it a one-eyed winged monster as she screams, "I'm just a merchant! Please help!" In a young girl's voice, then rushes past you. She clearly wants to make sure there is distance between her and the creature above that is chasing her. As the creature wings out, you notice a couple of the malfunctioning Alonian soldiers start to sparkle and see the attention and start drawing their attention to you. We are going into battle. In the session of 2 arms.
Woohoo!
So,
Oh.
okay. So, we are finally getting into combat of this. So, the way this works, there's not true initiative rolls in this for you guys, in the sense of everyone rolls for initiative. The way this works is you guys work together as allies and as enemies. Each time, an ally will act, then an enemy will act. An ally will act, and an enemy will act. As long as you haven't acted upon the first during the round, you guys can choose whenever who goes first. Whoever acts. So you guys have this awesome ability to kind of metagame and create synergy for what your characters can do in the game. So, but to achieve a successful initiative, we still have to do another group check. And you have to beat the initiative DC of the monster, the highest monster on here, which right now I believe is the Hexai, which is initiative of 8. So we'll treat this as a group check, and you'll use Insight and Dex as the base of it. So whoever you want to recommend be the leader, using Insight Dex will be your leader of rolling. You all, once again, roll Insight Dex as a support under them, and for everyone who beats a 10, gets +1 to the leader of the roll, hoping to achieve beating the 8, and then if you do so, you go first. So who would like to lead is the Insight Dex?
My dex is really good, but my insight's my worst.
Feeling this is a situation for Edgar.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've got a D10 for Dex and a D8 for Insight.
Very well.
So probably should go.
So everyone will go ahead and roll their checks of Insight Dex. So we can do it singularly. So Blair, if you want to go first.
I rolled an 11.
11, fantastic. So that's +1. Levine, that's a 10. That's +2. And Cassandra has a 9. Unfortunately, short on that. Who had Levine has a admiration towards Edgar, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I do.
So that's another +1 to your roll. So you actually have to beat a 13, or sorry, an 8. So sorry, not 13, an 8. So you get +3 already from you guys. Okay. So just roll your Insight and your Dex, and then add 3 to it.
Okay. 9.
You still got enough to win. So you guys now start the initiative. So I'm going to put you guys in initiative here. And you also, this is the opportunity, since it's scene 5, you can look at your character sheet where it shows the 5 unlocked. Some of your skills and all that are now unlocked in it.
Oh, nice.
Oh, good. There's a lot of 5. That's great.
And I don't know if you guys really need to worry. The initiative isn't as important to visually see because it's so back and forth, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. But if you were interested on Foundry, where there's a little chat bubble at the top right, you'll see 2 crossing swords. You can click that. You can see who's in initiative order. So,
Okay.
so allies start first. So, I've already gone from round to turns, and now everyone has 1 action. There's no movement in this game in any shape or form. It is kind of narratively suggested you guys are awesome and just doing the attack. The only hindrances in some of your actions are the Hexai has flying, so it requires range to be able to hit them. Or, an example right now, Cassandra has an ability called Soaring Strike that allows them to ascend in the air and make a melee attack. I'm trying to go over... If people actually... Why don't you guys discuss what actions you guys have as that are unique to your character? I've done plenty of talking. We'll start with Levine.
I swing sword. I hit things with sword. That's basically my thing. I can also protect people, which is something that comes up when it's not actively my turn, and we'll see if I need to use that. But I'm probably going to be best focused on the things that I can reach with my sword.
And I'm going to help inject this. So Levine actually has an ability that I believe, I don't know if it acts at 5 yet. Maybe it does, but the less they have less than their hit points, like I think it's like a threshold, they do more damage. So their character with that design to protect, that has a synergy to basically, they're incentivized to take
I would
damage.
like to lose some hit points.
So
it would
it can
be
do
great.
more damage. That is
Let me get hit by stuff. Don't
Blade.
heal me unless I ask you to, please. I want the pain. I deserve it.
I don't think I can stop myself from wanting to heal you, though.
Well, I'd like to add a bond of affection to Levine.
Normally that's
get
reserved.
trapped?
You know what? I'm just going to say sure. I'm going to give you a bond like that because let's make it fun here. But normally it'd be at resting scenes. If you're wanting to go that route, I'm not going to completely disengage that. But in normal Fabula Ultima, it would be a resting scene to allow you guys to role play and discuss what happened. But
That's so cool. That is so cool.
So that being said, with what Levine can do, what does Edgar bring to the table?
So I've got my pistol. I can actually shoot twice at one target, but now it's scene 5, so I have a barrage, which I can shoot once at 2 different targets. So 2 possibilities I was thinking is I can shoot twice at the Magitech soldiers, giving Cassandra cover so she can go in and try and get in on the Hexai, or I can just try and pin down the Hexai with my double shot.
Cool. Blair, what does Blair bring to the table, their Royal Majesty?
Blair can attack. She can guard. She can cast some spells. And she can also heal.
Okay. I believe also, if I'm not mistaken here on your actions, it's 5. You have an ability called Encourage.
Yes, that's the healing one.
That is the healing one, and then Lux is a spell, if I'm not mistaken, which you can cast up to 3 characters, and it does damage. It does light damage. Okay, cool.
Yeah, okay.
So,
so it's like a ranged spell.
Yes, and you can target.
Okay.
So basically, you have, and if you looked at your character sheets, you saw HP, MP. I didn't think I really needed to really relay to that. That's your expenditure of what you can do, and then your hit points is what your resilience is in the fight. As you spend magic points, obviously they go down. But for example, Lux being able to cast, Blair able to cast Lux, it says it can do up to 3 creatures at 10 per target, so she can spend 30 MP to do that to 3 different targets on her turn, just to clarify on that. Then we have Cassandra. What can Cassandra do?
Okay, I have a heavy spear that I can attack with, but I also have Bone Crusher, which I can choose to do no damage and instead make the creature dazed or weak or make them lose 20 MP.
Nice.
I also have Soaring Strike, which is a spell which allows me to attack a flying creature and treat it as a melee attack. And I also can guard the way Blair can, which either gives me resistance to certain damage types or I can protect somebody else.
Okay. So now you guys have an understanding. We got Levine, the meat shield and the beatdown specialist. You have Edgar, that is a range specialist, but also has a little support to them. You have a utility-based magic user in Cassandra, and then you have a wonderful support character that in Blair, but also has the ability to invoke some significant damage via light style damage. So I've kind of laid it on the playing field. Who wants to go first of the allies? You guys can discuss what you want to do to try to target your enemies.
Could you tell me what it does if a creature is dazed or weak?
Absolutely.
I'm wondering what that does.
So, under dazed and weak. So on your character sheet, also, I don't know if the Fabula one does, but I know in Foundry.
Oh, okay.
Let's see here. I have it right here in front of me. But so, what were the questions for which ones?
Sure, dazed and weak.
Dazed lowers an insight by 1. Weak lowers the might of some. So just like how you guys are invoked with conditions that can lower, you can do that to your enemies. Okay. They roll the same way. They use 2 die to try to do whatever they're trying to do to you.
It was insight and what?
Insight for dazed, weak is might.
Might, that makes sense. Okay. Interesting. I don't know. Should we let Levine do what she does best and get in there first and start whacking at him?
Smash him, Levine. Let's do this.
I'm happy to do that. Do you want me trying to actually use the targeting in Foundry thing, or do you want me to just roll?
Set up. Yeah, just go ahead and roll. I didn't. Yeah,
I'm glad because I'm bad at that. I'm very bad at.
I want to limit the complications of a more in-depth Foundry.
Okay. So I am going to go ahead and utilize my Shadow Strike ability, since I have at least 6 hit points right now, and I would like to spend 5 of my own life force and feed it into my sword and swing at one of those mechanized creatures.
Awesome.
That will let me deal 6 additional damage if it hits.
Which one are you aiming for?
Oh, the bottom one that's right across from me. And I
don't
know that I'm going to hit it with that.
You did. You actually hit it with. You hit 11. That isn't a hit.
Yay!
So
fabulous.
That's 24 points of dark damage as Levine just comes in with this blaze of self-anguish and pain, and she just unleashes it into the Elonian trooper. So, man, I forgot how much damage she does. That's pretty ridiculous.
My life is meaningless.
All right.
I look at her and I say, I'll bring meaning to it, baby.
Oh, wow. Okay. Wow. It's getting hot in here. And then. Okay, so now you've achieved 1 attack. One of the others I get to choose is now going to respond. So I'm going to go, let's just make this fun. It's going to go blow for blow back at Levine. We're going to keep this simple and quick. It's going to attempt to do a halberd strike at Levine.
Bring it on.
Nice.
And I don't care about public roles in this by any means. That cannot be right. It said it hit Levine. Oh. What's your armor, Levine?
If I'm actually wearing my armor, which I assume I am, then
it didn't put that.
Be 11.
Okay, so that's why. If you go to the items in your inventory on Foundry, you hit equip. Right. That's my bad. Sorry. So okay, I was like, there's no way that hit.
We were probably supposed to equip them like now,
I can assist that if needed on Foundry.
I got it.
But it comes out the halberd and is able to try to strike at you, but you're able to just parry it away. And I just want to ask, with you having this desire for pain, what is Levine feeling as far as knowing that the invoking damage was not actually going to hit her? Was she anticipating and hoping?
I mean, she's not going to actively let things hit her. That's taking it just a little too far, but she's just a little disappointed in the unskilled nature of her opponent.
The creature is malfunctioning, so maybe that has some nature to why it was not able to achieve it. That is that one's turn. So now we're back to you guys' turn. So Levine is now out of the option here. So it is now between Blair, Cassandra, and Edgar of what they want to achieve.
Oh, I can't do that yet. I just realized I can't protect people. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
I'm skipping ahead.
That's okay.
Right? Oh yeah, I see. If you do that. Okay, I will actually then do. I will attack with the same one with my heavy spear. Let's see. So you said I can just click right on the spear, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Well, there we go.
That is by far a fantastic roll. So you're able to achieve, and you invoke 20 physical damage into it as. Whew.
Nice. I imagine he stabs out at it, pulls it back, and then just for a good measure, twists this thing around and bonks it on the head.
As you do so, you notice it starting to. You'll notice. So this game is very transparent. You notice a little exclamation point over its head now on the character. That means it's in crisis mode, which means it's under half hit points. That isn't always a good thing in Fabula Ultima, as some creatures might have these invoked powers as the circuit core of this individual starts to shock and start to convulse. It is now, so you know that one is in crisis doing that. I'm going to just be transparent on this. I don't normally give this out because I'm going to try to expedite this a bit, but it's going to hurt a lot more if this hits you. I'll just give you guys that heads up on that.
I guessed that, but thanks. It's good to know.
I'm not going to tell you the nature of how. So
It's going to hurt us?
If it hits us.
If it hits you. If they strike you in their current condition.
I see. Okay, great.
So that is the next. That was Cassandra's turn. So the Hexeye is actually going to go, and it is going to. It's going to cast its Shadow Wing.
Uh-oh.
That sounds scary.
Onto Cassandra. And
How
it
dare
is
you.
going to be a insight willpower. Just go ahead and run that and make sure it's one creature. Requires 10 points. Okay. If it hits, which your magic defense, if you check your character sheet, we didn't actually hit that, but it's right next. There's defense and magic defense.
Oh, I see. Yes, magic defense is 8.
8. So a 13 did hit. And with that, the damage is 17 points of dark damage, but you are also inflicted with the shaken status effect, which that means you are... Your willpower size goes down by 1. Not his, hers.
My willpower goes down by 1. So you mean like the die?
The die level.
Yeah.
So if you have to roll anything willpower, it's going to be 1 level lower.
Oh.
Yep, got it. I
Until
switched
that is improved.
And how much dark damage did you say?
17. And I did apply it to your character on here already. So, but if you want to, it's up to you.
I got it.
You can also click the little dazed icon and it will apply it to your character as well.
That's what I was about to do. I kept doing it to my monster.
Or you can, the DM can do it. That's fine.
Yeah, I'm I'm not trying to deny
makes
anyone Foundry.
No, it's all good.
So
No, please. I need the help.
Yeah,
so that's
help is good.
turn. So that leaves now. Oh, that wasn't right. That was a hex. Doesn't matter. So Blair and Edgar.
Okay, that
Edgar, go
Hexeye is
for it.
making me nervous. I'm gonna shoot it, but I'm gonna do a barrage, so I can shoot 2 different things. So one shot is reserved for the Hexeye for sure. I think I'm a little bit nervous. So Cassandra and Levine are on this one that's already been damaged. I don't want to accidentally hit them, so I'm gonna hit the other Magitech soldier that has not been touched yet. So
Okay.
one on the Hexeye. One on the other one.
Fantastic.
It looks like it takes 10 MP for me to use this.
Mm-hmm. I can go ahead and just apply that to you if you want here.
Okay.
So yeah, you just roll. You will roll your pistol, and we'll just say that happens. Like basically, you roll it, and then the total number has to beat both of their defenses for it to be achieved. Wow,
Okay.
you guys are just rolling so damn well. You don't even need Fabula points, and this is phenomenal. As you invoke 16 points of physical damage on the Hexai, and then 16 on the Elonian Trooper.
Okay.
Well done. So that's Edgar's turn. I've had it as the Hexai, but it's the last Elonian. He will come at Edgar. I'm going punch for punch here.
My shield.
Is Houndrank. And rolling high as well for a 16 as you take 20 points of light damage as the halberd comes convulsing through and then a little shockwave hits into it, and you feel kind of a static go through your magic tech arm, but you still stabilize on it. But you do take 20 points of damage. I will apply that.
Okay.
Not to the trooper.
Ugh.
There we go. And that puts Edgar in crisis on the dot, so he is halfway through on his life points. I also have it on Foundry with your mouse. You can hover over your characters. You can see their health bars, so just for your own visual knowledge of where people are at. At least you should be able to.
Yeah.
So that goes in. So basically in this, there's 4 of you, 3 of them. You guys finish out the round. And so we'll go ahead and go with Blair. It's up to you. What are you choosing to do?
Oh, I'm getting enraged.
Okay.
And I am going to run up to that one that is all those crazy colors. And I'm going to attack it with my steel dagger.
Awesome. Love it. It will be a, what is that for you? It is a Dex Insight +1 to you.
Yep, that is a 17.
That is a hit. So now the way damage is applied, it is your high roll plus 4. So what was your highest roll of the 2?
10.
10. So 14. Takes 14 points of physical damage. It takes a significant hit, but it is still standing.
Okay.
Well done, Blair. As that is the end of that round. And we go back to round 2. As I'm going to go ahead and bring the Hexai back into play. It is now going to... it's going to try a Shadow Wing on Blair. And that is 10.
Try it, you jerk face.
That is, man, we're all rolling really well. That's a 13. What's your magic defense? It's 10, 5, but oh, sorry, 12. Yeah, with the yes. Just barely is enough to hit as you take 17 points of dark damage as its wings flutter and this shadowy aura of Menergy kind of pulsates around you and gives you a little bit of unsureness. You are also shaken as well. So I will apply that to you if you want to take note of that. So that means your, I think it was your willpower, has gone down by 1 die. So anything that is willpower based will be down 1 die.
Okay.
All right. It is whatever you guys want to turn. What was that? Hold on.
Would it be best for me to try to either daze or weaken one of these creatures?
I'm worried about that Hexai. So yeah, if you can weaken it or do something to cause it problems, that would be
Daze
really
is
good.
probably better.
Yeah.
Just from it's not doing physical attacks, so to daze it is I'm gonna metagame because that's encouraged in this game a little bit.
100%.
And if it is casting magic, you
Mhm.
kind of
You wanna
you
daze
can
it?
bet that it's most likely insight or willpower that it's using to do that. So anything that can affect its insight
Yeah.
Mm.
is a good thing to
Right?
do.
Okay, let me try to daze it then. So I can try to hit it with my spear, but daze it instead. Let's see. So spear. Ooh.
So, and I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be. I think you have to have soaring strike to be able to hit the hex eye. So if you're using
Yeah.
bone crusher instead, you won't be able to do the soaring strike to hit. Just so you know. So it's not to disrupt play, but
No, I understand.
No, that's a good point. Yeah.
Right. Okay, so what would you like me to do then at this point? Can I direct that towards someone else, or do you want me to do
absolutely.
something
Nope.
different?
If you want to direct
with-
someone else, go for it.
Yeah, I will. Was somebody else casting magic at all, or was it just them?
Not at the moment. It just seems to be that creature. And I will allow you to, if you want to just do damage instead of the conditional change with Bone Crusher, that is up to you.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Okay, so basically you're saying I can't do both of those, right? I have to do
Correct.
one
Those
or-
both require an action to achieve. So if you do Bone Crusher, you're basically converting your attack action to do that. Soaring Strike gives you the action to hit with in the air.
Okay, why don't we just use damage then with the Bone Crusher
Okay.
instead of, because I'll have to switch that around.
And who would you like to apply it to?
The one that's not shimmering blue.
Okay. For 20 points of damage. This one, too, is also now in crisis, and they are both now radiating with energy. So... Cassandra...
I'd like to go next. Can I go next?
Do it. Yeah.
Go
Okay.
ahead.
I want to.
Wait.
enemy goes first,
Enemy,
then you'll
then
go. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah. So, one of the hex signs will, you know what? It's knowing there's some. It's going to go after Cassandra. The bottom one. Or actually, it'll be the top one that got hit. So, it is going to do a hybrid strike.
The trooper.
And that is a 14. That will hit. So, so as it hits you, you take 19 points of damage, and you feel this energy blast out with its being discombobulated, and you are shocked, and you are now taking the slow status now. So it is now hit you damage. You are now slow, which also means it is going to affect your Dex die goes down by 1. And you have taken 19 points of damage as well. Puts you in crisis, and Cassandra's not looking the best, but she's still standing.
I'm coming in. Don't worry.
Go for it.
Do it.
I'm going to look at Cassandra and say, we can do this, Cassandra. We can make it through. I'm going to use my encourage on her. It says during a conflict scene, you may use an action and spend 5 million points to choose another creature, Cassandra, that is able. Okay. So she regains 10 hit points and
Nice.
chooses dexterity, insight, might, or willpower.
Awesome.
And you can go 1 die up
Back
from
up.
wherever you are now.
Okay, I will put my dex back up.
Oh,
It
didn't-
also says this 1 die size higher until the start of your next turn, or until the end of the scene, whichever happens first.
Let's see, how much was the healing?
10.
10.
10?
Mm-hmm.
Oops. So that would go up to
24.
There
Still
we
in
go.
crisis. So you did take Dex, so you're basically negating the slow effect that has been invoked on you, which is still awesome.
And I look up at Blair and I say, if we get out of this, will you teach me how to juggle?
It would be my pleasure.
Oh, thank God. Thank you.
We will get out of this.
I believe you.
All right. As that happens, it is going to be the Elonian trooper. I think I did something out of turn on it, but it's on my thing. Doesn't matter though. The Elonian trooper down below is also going to take an attack at Blair.
Try it.
It's a Humber strike. That probably is not going to hit. It shouldn't have. At least I don't think so. 9?
Can you tell me? I couldn't see what it rolled. I saw 1. I did see the second die.
I rolled a 5, a 1, and they had +3 on their attack, so it was a 9.
Is that my defense or magical defense?
It's your defense.
Is it meet it, beat it? Because my defense is 9.
It is meet it, beat it in Fabula Ultima.
Okay,
So-
great. So it hit.
So you will take 17 points of bolt damage. You are also now slowed as you take the extra damage, or the convulsion of the mob is hitting you. So I will mark you as slow.
And which die does that affect?
That affects your dexterity.
Okay. And can we go below a d6?
You cannot go below a d6. D6 is as low as you can go. In higher areas, you can't go higher to d12. Just so you know.
So,
Because
having it affected me in Dex, and my Dex is a d6, what would
matter.
I do at that point?
nothing, it's just
doesn't
marked. It's still marked that you have a secondary condition because that matters as far as if you're hit and stuff. But you're not. It doesn't bring you any further lower. So
Okay.
That's cool.
I'm in pretty bad shape. This is not good. I will not survive another attack.
I'm working on it, man. I'm working on it.
Where are you?
It hasn't been my turn yet.
Do it.
So it is Levine. And Edgar, you have a turn in the as well.
Yeah.
Still
Do you
around
want
as
to
well.
go first, Edgar, or do you want me to go first?
I wanted you to go first because if you take one of them down, that'll change my
Cool.
tactical options.
Since I cannot hit the eyeball, I am going to just go for one of the flashing troopers. Is there any way for me to visually gauge which one is like worse off than the other?
So normally that you would have to use an action to study on
Okay,
that,
then
but
I don't want to do that. That's fine. No worries. I'm going to go for the top one.
okay.
I'm going to do another shadow strike. Let's spend another some of my life points to try and take it down. Come on,
That's
my
a hit.
friend.
And
Excellent.
for 24 points of damage, I will let you describe how you dispatch this Elonian Destruct.
Oh, totally. So this is like an animated suit of armor. There's not like a living being inside of it.
Correct. It's a construct that is empowered by faulty magic, basically.
I love it. So what I am picturing is that there is some kind of like core that is powering this thing, and she just takes this enormous sword that's as big as she is, and she just goes straight down into like right behind the breastplate to get into that center of it. Wham!
Fantastic. As you drive it into it, it just there's a little attempt, like the shockwave of it's going to conduct, but the dark iron, or well, I guess it's not the sword, but it's enough to just eradicate its core, and it fizzles out and dies, or seeks to exist. So it is gone. I will just make it invisible, so you don't have to worry about it. Fantastic. Well done.
I see this happen, and I blow some kisses.
She does not know what to make of that.
So in this round, they've already used all their turns on this, so it goes straight to Edgar because you guys have the numbers on it. So
Okay, cool. All right, so good. Now that the one is down, so Edgar is in crisis, so he's half hit points. So he is gonna grit through the pain and just unleash another barrage and
love it.
One on each.
Roll for attack.
Hell yeah.
There we go.
That's a successful hit on both of them for a total of 16. That does break the other one down and hit the other, but I'm going to let you kind of give a little narrative since you did dispatch the other one, Edgar. The one below.
Oh, okay. The Elonian trooper. Okay, so yeah, the first shot was on the hex, and then kind of grit through the pain, squeeze, and we'll say it just hits it square in the. Well, Edgar knows where the core is. Let's say the core is actually in the chest. So yeah. So he'll just do a very precise shot right through the chest and knock him out.
As the achievements of Levine were on display, you see the wonderful marksmanship of Edgar blast through this entity, and it drops to the ground, while also the Hexi, it hits, and you see it penetrate its large eye, and you hear it screech out and starts tearing out dark ichor onto the ground as it's trying to flap. You also notice in that damage it does, it's starting to struggle, so it drops to the ground and it's no longer flying.
Ooh.
Nice.
Good shot, kid.
Thank you.
All right. Next to get rid of that. Boop, 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 boop. No. Okay. So we're back to round 3. Things are not looking great on either side, but as far as some of the people's certain health is considered, but we're going to go ahead and have the Hexi go first. It is going to, as it's screeching out, kind of trying to flap, it's going to try to roll over, well, not roll, but it's trying to make little leaps and getting enough of a flap as it tries to come down and claw at Edgar.
Not Edgar.
No.
And that is a 8 towards the defense. Edgar, though, I believe has a 10. Which does not hit as it shrieks out, and you're able to fend it off with your runic shield.
Nice.
And that is the end of its turn. So, by all means, the 4 of you stand. You have a somewhat struggling Hexi at the last of your combat.
Right. Blair, are you able to heal yourself with your, like, anybody that has
not with encourage, but I can gain resistance, but I can come and encourage you. Would you like me to do that?
Well, I was more worried about your health.
If we survive this, there will be a thing that can be done to work with that. But so I think
Okay.
I'll go up to you and I will say,
you know what? Yeah.
We're in this together. You and I. Your amazing skills at leading and finding a way through, they will help us. Cassandra, you've got this.
It's so inspiring. It's so inspiring. You inspire me, Blair. I've got this. And you said the Hexi is not flying anymore, you said, right?
No, it is free reign to take your shot.
All right.
So you get 10 more hit points, and you can again choose Dexterity, Insight, Might, or Willpower to notch up a die.
Ah. All right. I will notch up the... You know what? I will notch up the Might. So now I have 2 10s. And 10 more hit points, you said. Got it. And then I will charge over and try to stab it with my spear.
Woo! That's awesome!
Ooh! Okay.
So inspiring!
What exactly did you roll? 20. Yeah, without a doubt. I will let you describe how Cassandra dispatches this Hexi.
Oh, she gets that spear and right in its eye. And she says, "Don't you mess with my friends!" And just keeps jabbing it right in the eye. Goes back out and is like, Blair, we did it. Can't wait to learn how to juggle. Wait, Blair, you did it. Wait, so we need to help Blair. She's so hurt.
You have all achieved combat. You are now out of combat. So let me end this out. As you take out the creatures and they're flaying to the ground, You notice the young individual, well, the cloaked individual, pops open their coif, revealing to be a younger girl with what looks to be some bear-like Urson style ears. I don't know if we actually really talked about that with Cassandra. She actually has cat ears and a cat tail. So she does have some of those physical traits. You notice this represents it to a certain extent as well, but looks more like maybe like a bear or some sort, as she kind of shivers a bit, and she goes, "Thank you for saving me. I was just coming back from a Mordecai, and I was trying to get through the rounds of the Lonian soldiers, and I was really struggling to make my way through, so I thought I could shortcut through the crater, and then these monsters happened, and then this big purple energy happened, and then you guys happened." We are going to go into the scene of Olivia.